It is a beautiful rainy day here in Canada. Uh, yeah, the Impreza is still not on the road. We did do the snow tires on the STI, which have to come off. Uh, but the issue with that is we still have to wait for warranty and stuff. But I'm not going to send the car with winter tires when it goes for warranty, just because it doesn't need it. So I'll put the old ones back on, the summers, because we need those stupid hub centric rings. But we did get brakes, so I'm gonna go ahead, put some brakes on my 2006 Super Impreza wagon with a wide body, Brembo brake swap, really loud car. So, oh, and we cheaped out on these too. I'll show you it. I'll show you. So for our pads, I went with the Parts Pro series. I think it's their OEM Plus line. Oh goodness. It's just street brakes, ceramic, nothing crazy. You know, never really plan on tracking this car just because it can't go nowhere very fast. So don't really plan on it. So never really bothered to get anything crazy. We got the front and rears of these, so that would be nice. Now for the rotors, I try to find something locally for a decent price, and yes, I could find locally $300 priced rotors. However, I found a little bit over $300 shipped to me, coated rotors that are vented, no crazy slotted or drilled rotors, but they're vented and they're coated. And they look really good because they're all coated. Not only that, they came with brake pads. Now, I'm not going to use the brake pads just because I feel like that's a little sketchy. But I mean, for rotors, I don't really care. It's just rotors. I don't think it's anything special. But I'm going to check through the box. Also, make sure that the bolt pattern is 5x100. That was the biggest issue I had finding rotors, is because 5x100 is not common for this STI. Yeah, after 2005, well, 2004 was the last year. 2005, they changed it to 5x114.3, and these are 5x100. So basically, if you'll own a WRX with 5x100, BRZ or FRS or 86, they are also 5x100. This swap will work for you. My one buddy has a swap. I did a swap with the Cardi Boy bracket just so I didn't have to get the DBA rotors, just so I had more selection. I'm also not sure if I showed this, but this is going to be our front and rear spacers for the car. They are 5x100 to 5x114.3. So in theory, bingo, they line up perfectly. I don't know if you can see that, but they line up. All right, just took our meat off. That's in my hand to give you a size reference. They're 275s, so they're pretty damn big. Alright, yeah, you can see these were really bad. When I parked the car, I don't remember them being this bad at all, but I guess just from sitting, they just got worse. And I've been driving around with the fender liner, and it's rubbing on everything. So I'm probably going to take these off. I don't really know. But basically, yeah, these pads are low. I knew they were getting low, and I knew I had to get them done eventually. I just didn't plan on having to do them yet. Now to take this off, there's these clips on the back you got to pull out. You could use like side cutters to pull these out. Just 1, 2, and then take a little pin just to rest on there and hammer it through lightly. You don't want to mess up your powder coat. And then there's 2 bolts on the back here. One's right there, and there's another one down there below. You got to take those off. I believe they're either 14s or 17s. I can't remember 100%, but those will take off the Brembo. You don't want to let it just rest on the ground as well, so you want to get something just to rest it on the side, like a bucket or something. I'm probably going to use a paint can just to make sure my brake line does not get snagged, and then I have to get a new brake line and breathe the brakes, because that's never fun. I'll tell you that. I'm going to take out these 2 pins. I'll just use a couple of side cutters, give it a grip. That's 1 pin. Now you're not pushing down to cut it, you're just grabbing the pin and then lifting it. Basically, take your little pin, line it up, hit it lightly. There's one pin. Next, you can pull this out. There's the second pin. But I don't want to pull the pads out just yet. I want to use them to help push the boots back in. I managed to get the flat head in, and I'm just kind of putting pressure between the brake pad and the rotor. It's pushing the pistons this way. Now, you're not going to do this if you're going to reuse your brake pads or rotors. Do not do this. I'm doing this because I am not reusing them. Now, that should be good. If we look, yeah, you can just see I've messed up my brake pads. Off comes your caliper. And let's put this down. Oh. So I take a little bit of anti-seize. I just put a little bit in here. I did a bunch of this because our central vacuum was going and I couldn't really talk. But put on my new rotor. Before you put it on though, you want to spray it down with just some brake clean and clean everything off because it is oiled from shipping, just so it doesn't rust away in the box. Then I throw one of my old lug nuts on just to help hold the rotor, just so it's easier to put on my caliper. I get the grease that came with the Brembos. And I like to put a little bit on the edge. So I like to just kind of put some on the back. And I like to put some on the edges. Like so. It's just what I like to do. Rubber on the back because your pistons are going to be touching here. You want them lubed up. And then I'll also throw a little bit in there. Slide her in. Just like so. Take my other pad. This one has the little wear strip on it. Do the same thing. And slide it in. Next, we need our pins. A little bit more grease. Rub around the pin. So line it so it's facing up. So when you push your clip in, this clip goes right in. On a side note, that's my muffler. It's basically a straight pipe, and this is, yeah, that's completely loose. Nice, eh? That's it, boys. We're legal. Everything is done. It's insured. This baby's ready to hit the road. So I got to finish up with the rear brakes. Honestly, I'm not probably going to show them all that much unless it's something interesting, just because it's pretty much the same as the front, to be honest. Like, it's really not that big of a difference. So what happened was I had a ring of rust around my rotor on the inside that made a little ledge. Right here, there's a little ledge. And what happened was, when I was trying to pull off the rotor, it was pulling on the e-brake. So the issue is, as I'm pulling it off, which I think it damaged it a little bit right there, that should be fine, is it ripped out this spring. It did this last time on the other side, and now it did it here. And I tightened up these not that long ago, so I have a feeling I'm gonna have to do this again on the other side because I had to fight it so much just to get this stupid rotor off. But I managed to get this back on. And if you have to do this by yourself, it is a complete pain in the ass. Like, I had to hold my finger in the back and then use my 2 thumbs to push this down on one side, but also guiding it in the little pin right there through the hole while pushing the spring down and holding everything straight. And then you have to, well, how I do it, I push the needle nose around, or I grab this and hold on to it for dear life, because if you slip, the stupid pin shoots out the back. Or what I'll do is I'll use like a flathead just to kind of help push it down and then twist it. But either way, it's a pain in the ass. I've literally sat here for 30 minutes trying to get this damn thing in when I could have had this side done. So, huge waste of time. If you ever have to do this, I'm sorry for you, but this really sucks. Well, we just finished up. These took a lot longer than planned, but I had a feeling they were going to be a pain, so should have expected it. So they're looking minty fresh. It is right now, I think, 10 o'clock at night. I kind of want to take this car to work tomorrow, just because I've talked about it so much, and it'd be cool to take. So, but that means I got to put the summer wheels on the STI. So, I don't know. That's a lot of work because I got to get those spacer rings that I had to steal from this car. So that's annoying. But eventually, when I put the rear wheels on this, I gotta take them. So I think I'm gonna start putting the summers back on, which is a pain in the ass. I really don't want to have to do this, but it snowed really bad. I'm gonna double check the weather as well. I know I'm in the process now of getting a quote for the rust on the doors for the STI as well. So I'm kind of worried about giving him a car with just summer tires and not winter tires. So I'm kind of iffy with that, but it is what it is. If I have to, I can always throw my old 17s back on this car with my old spacers. It looks ugly, but I mean, for the time being, I could do it. I'm going to double check the weather, see if it's a good move to do this. If not, I don't know. All right, the STI has stock wheels back on. The winter wheels are here once again. I'm really getting tired of this. We got big beefy boy off. And the stupid rings we needed. I definitely need to buy another set of these just for the future if anything happens like this.